Insecurity and lack of confidence are learned, conditioned, and taught. They are not natural. If you are someone who lacks confidence, you don't even have to change anything. All I want you to do is, what do we do if we have no confidence in life? And this is what's really cool. This is what we discovered from trauma research and all kinds of other things. Is that thankfully, the world that you live in is not the world that you live in. The world that you perceive is not the real world. It is a biased world. So let me give you all a simple example. This is what we see. Why do people not have confidence? Okay? So, if we look at these statements, what does this person's mind jump to? So my mom says I'm rather good looking and have a wide frame, but everyone's mom says that. So this is a key thing to understand. If you lack confidence in life, there's one thing that you can change. It doesn't require willpower. I'm going to show you all a secret. It's not willpower. It's not effort. It's not just doing it. In fact, you have to do absolutely nothing. You have to take zero risk. That is to be critical of your perception. This is the biggest problem that people do not get with a lack of confidence. So if you look at someone who lacks confidence, when they get positive feedback, their mind discounts it. And when they get negative feedback, their mind amplifies it. Your mind becomes a propaganda machine, which amplifies the negative and decreases the positive. So you take your favorite political, news network or commentator or whatever, and you look at their cognitive biases, right? Someone you agree with or don't agree with. Probably someone that you don't agree with, because it's easier to see cognitive biases. And what you'll see is all these people will conveniently ignore anything that doesn't agree with them. This is what your mind does. All it sees is the negative. Because I don't know how to say this, but literally the world is the same place for both of y'all. Right? And then your mind will say, no, it isn't, because pretty people have this and this and this and this, and I'm an ugly person. Well, what about all the ways in which it is the same? Gravity is the same. The sun, you have the same amount of time. You have the same amount of daylight. You have the same amount of nighttime. You all shit the same way. 99% of your DNA is identical. Right? The majority of the world is actually the same for all human beings. Cars run the same way, physics runs the same way, biochemistry runs the same way. The majority of the world is the same. But that's not what you see. What you see is the parts that are different. And do you see the parts that you're advantageous at? Of course not. You downgrade those. You remove those. You take the positive data points, and if you are not careful, you will use your perception to filter them out. This is a huge problem. This is the core of a problem with people with confidence. And I say this as a clinician who has worked with these people. And so we even have data around this, right? So the number of automatic thoughts that you can change. An automatic thought is your mind's instinctive reaction to something, which you think is logical, but it's not logical. If it happened right away, it's not like does that kind of make sense? If your mind just jumps out with a thought which you think is correct, how long did you stop and think about that? You say, oh, I thought about it in the past, but you didn't really. Most of your thoughts are shaped without your knowledge. It's not like you sat there for 5 years and developed a very critical way of thinking about the way that you view the world. That's not how it happens. The real tricky thing in the brain is that we think that's what happens, but that's not what happens. So Daniel Kahneman did a lot of cool research on this, where human beings think that most of their thinking is logical, whereas it's not. So I'll give you all just one example of how we can change thinking in imposter syndrome, which eliminates the imposter syndrome. Anytime you do something well, if you are an imposter, you attribute it to circumstances. The reason I got an A is because I got lucky, because the professor likes me, because this. It's never your own effort. And if someone else does something well, it's because of their effort. It's never luck. This person worked so hard. Oh yeah, their dad is the dean. I'm going to conveniently ignore that fact. Anytime you do something poorly, if you have imposter syndrome, it is your fault. Anytime someone else does something poorly, it's circumstances. Oh man, they were going through a breakup. Poor them. It's so hard. Oh my God. I'm going through a breakup. I should be better at life. I should be more in control of my emotions. I should be less of a pussy. I should be able to handle this. So it is the perception of your mind that leads to a lack of confidence. It's not any real thing. It's just your mind. Literally. You can look at research on Daniel Kahneman. You can look at research on cognitive biases and depression. You can look at research on imposter syndrome. We create our lack of confidence in our mind. And then our mind tells us this is factually correct, whereas it's not. So what to do? If you are someone who lacks confidence, you don't even have to change anything. All I want you to do is look at the positive things in your life and watch how your mind attaches a but at the end. This is all you need to do. You don't even need to fix it. Notice that when there is something good, there's a but. And then look at the negative things in your mind and notice there is no but. Right? So I'll give you all a simple example. Let's look at this. This is so textbook. I'm rather good looking, but... Right? So he doesn't say, I tend to drink, eat junk, and play video games, but I'm a very good person. But I'm able to hold a stable job. But I'm able to do X, Y, Z. Right? Even when I was younger, I had the illusion that I was a youngster and that things would get better. Sorry, when I was younger, I had the illusion that things would get better. But it turns out that things did get better. No one says that. There's no but with the negative, and there's always a but with the positive. This is all you need to see. Right? My personality and way of being is shit too, but I'm interested in becoming better. And the one thing that I have going for me is that even when my life is crap, I ask for help and I want to get better. No one says that. I want to change for the better and live a normal life. Oh my God, what a positive statement. What do y'all think is coming next? Shocking. Let's look. Let's do a test, chat. Let's search for but. And what do y'all think is before this? A negative statement or a positive statement? Holy shit. There are two cases of this in this post, and are they preceded by positivity or are they preceded by negativity? I'm rather good looking. I want to change for the better. This is it. How many negative statements do they have? There's no but after that. That's it. Simple. And by the way, it's not like I looked at that post and engineered all this crap and I measured it before. I'm just pointing out this is how the mind works. When you lack confidence, you will add a but to all of the positive, and you will let the negative filter through without any problem. And then that shapes your view of the world. And of course, you're going to have confidence. Simple. How do you gain confidence? Very easy. Not easy, hard, but simple. The way to gain confidence if you lack confidence is to stop sabotaging your confidence. That's it. You don't need to gain confidence. You just need to stop fucking it up. It'll grow on its own. Because the world is a place where human beings are naturally confident. You may say, what the fuck, Dr. K? Are you serious about that? Yes. You take a 2-year-old. They're confident. Lack of confidence is learned. Insecurity is learned. You take a 2-year-old, they're happy. They become 3, they're happy. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, even 9-year-olds will naturally be happy. Insecurity and lack of confidence are learned, conditioned, and taught. They are not natural. So all you have to do is stop the perceptual bias. Right? If you guys want more info on that, I'd strongly recommend y'all look into the yogic discipline of pratyahara. See, we're all about logic, we're all about emotions, but we're not about perception. No one says the way that I perceive the world is wrong. Everyone will use logic. They'll say, oh, like analytically, this is right, this is wrong. Everyone will engage in logical arguments, but what are the axioms you're starting from? Those are based on your perception. Just notice where you put a but, and notice how fucked up it is.